Update 2. At some point, I had to face reality. My future didn't include Lauren anymore, and it definitely didn't look bright. The anger inside me slowly turned into something colder, more calculated. Revenge. I started going through every detail of our shared life, the kind of things couples usually ignore. Who pays the bills? Which insurance company are we with? When are utilities due? Which accounts are used for what? I needed to understand everything. It turned out we only had a small amount left on our mortgage. My retirement account had built up to around $90,000, which, honestly, I owed to the teachers' union and their mandatory contributions. After doing a lot of research online without Lauren knowing, I came to a difficult conclusion. A clean 50-50 split wasn't going to work in my favor. Our kids were already financially independent. We also had about $30,000 in savings. That money was supposed to fund a big overseas trip. Yeah, that trip wasn't happening anymore. So I made a decision. I was going to move that money, quietly, before Lauren realized I knew the truth. I started small. I staged appliance breakdowns around the house. When Lauren wasn't home, I'd unplug something or mess with it just enough to make it seem broken. Then I'd tell her I called a repair guy, paid him cash. In reality, I fixed everything myself and kept the money. I also bought tools and other items with cash, showed them to Lauren, and returned them the next day. Yeah, it wasn't honest. But honesty didn't exist in our relationship anymore. Not after what she did. And I could feel it changing me, turning me into someone I never thought I'd become. A liar. Lauren kept seeing Banta every Thursday. I stopped trying to be intimate with her. We were just roommates now. Nothing more. Little by little, I started moving my personal belongings into boxes and storing them in the garage. Lauren almost never went in there. That space had always been mine, and she was perfectly fine keeping it that way. Sometimes she noticed things missing. I told her I broke them, or didn't need them anymore. She accepted those answers. Mostly because my stuff didn't match her aesthetic. Anyway, that realization hit harder than I expected. I had been giving in to her for years, in ways I didn't even notice. Once most of my things were gone, the house looked exactly the same, like I had never been there. I withdrew as much as I could from my retirement account. Then I bought a small house on the edge of town. Nothing fancy. 2 bedrooms. Small yard. But it had a garage. And it was close to the school where I worked. The best part? The remaining mortgage was low enough that I could comfortably pay it with just half my salary. No luxury, but freedom. It's amazing what kind of deals you can find when you stop chasing status. I slowly moved my things into the new place. Furniture wasn't a problem. I picked up secondhand pieces from thrift stores. At some point, I realized something. My life now felt secondhand too. Then Mary approached me again one day during school pickup. This time, she looked different, upset, like she had been crying. As a teacher, you learn to notice these things. "Mr. D, can I talk to you for a minute?" she asked. "Of course," I said. "Just park over there and come sit." I always called the benches near the pickup area my office. Her son Timothy went off to play with a ball while we sat down. "I don't even know where to start," she said. "I'm not sure how much you know about what's going on at that gym." I looked at her carefully. "I know my wife, Lauren, enjoys going there," I said cautiously. She hesitated, then pushed forward. "There are things you need to know." I decided to cut straight to it. "Does this have something to do with Philip Banta?" Her reaction was immediate. "You have no idea how much this has to do with that pig." I stayed quiet. "Please go on." She took a shaky breath. "He targets regular clients. Women." "How do you know?" I asked. Tears filled her eyes. "Because I was one of them." She told me everything. They had been meeting every Friday at 12:30, until last month. Then suddenly he ended it. No explanation. Just, "Sorry, I can't anymore." She said she actually believed they might have a future. She was divorced, lonely. She missed affection, tension, and he gave her all of that, until he didn't. "I was so wrong," she said quietly. I was stunned. Not just by what she said, but by how openly she said it. She must have been really hurt. Trying to comfort her, I said, relationships aren't always what they seem. She looked at me, really looked, and saw it, the pain. You already know, don't you? She said slowly. You know about him and your wife. I nodded. Yeah, I know. Thank you for telling me, I added, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm already dealing with the situation. I believe in karma, I said, and I think it's coming for him. Mary's expression hardened. He needs to pay, she said sharply. He doesn't care who he hurts, as long as he feeds his ego and brags about it to his friends. She leaned closer. If you need help getting revenge, just tell me. He should pay. For everything. She called Timothy and left. I stayed there for a long time, thinking. Strangely, I felt a bit of relief. My plan didn't feel like just an emotional reaction anymore. This was bigger, much bigger. How many women had he done this to? It was time to gather real evidence. I found out Banta worked every day except Monday. The gym was closed then. I remembered his phone number from the staff board. Using a directory, I found his address. 3 blocks from my house. That explained everything. How easily he could come over. How convenient it all was. I told Lauren I was going for daily walks around 5 p.m. Said my doctor recommended it. She didn't question it. Of course she didn't. It didn't interfere with her schedule. On my first walk, I went straight to his place. Ground floor apartment in a row of similar buildings. His car wasn't there, so I waited. He usually left our house well before 6 p.m. And right on time, he came back, just before 6. Like clockwork, I started tracking his routine. Every day I could. If I had meetings and couldn't go out, I assumed he followed the same pattern. Gym open equals different women every day. I took a full week off work. Just for this. Went to an electronics store. Bought everything I needed. A long-range listening device. Motion-activated HD cameras. 5 of them. A portable hard drive for storage. Monday, I installed the first camera in his apartment. It was surprisingly easy. Studio-style layout. Open space. 1 camera covered almost everything except the bedroom. Getting inside? Even easier. He kept a spare key under the doormat. I wish I was joking. By evening, the camera was already recording. He came home, ate takeout in front of the TV, and went to bed around 9 p.m. Tuesday, I waited until the gym closed, then went in through the back entrance. I placed another camera in a private assessment room, the one he used for personal sessions. I couldn't help but think, who have I become? Installing cameras. Spying. Where does this end? Wednesday, while Lauren was out grocery shopping, I installed 2 more cameras. In our bedroom and the living room. That night, I reviewed Tuesday's footage. And what I saw didn't surprise me, but it still hit hard. Banta woke up, left, came back with breakfast. Didn't even cook. Lazy. Then, before heading to the gym, he made a call. Julie, hey, it's Phil. Is he gone? Pause. Good. I'll see you at 12:30. Don't forget what I told you to wear. No, I'll be careful. No one will see me come in. You said he's away for 3 days? Perfect. Maybe I'll come Thursday and Friday too. We'll talk later, babe. I just sat there, listening, thinking about how he planned to explain all of this to Lauren. Thursday, I was in my garage watching the live feed, waiting. The camera turned on almost immediately. He woke up. Same routine. Then he made another call. This time, to Lauren. And I heard everything. Yeah, my husband left for work. See you at 12:30. Like usual. And just like that, everything was confirmed. Update 3. Mary, the mom from school, was more than willing to help. Honestly, she was eager. So I asked her to put together a list of women Banta had been involved with. Past and present. She took that task seriously. A week later, she came back with names. And addresses. A lot of them. And there it was, Lauren's name, right there on the list. Even though I already knew. Seeing it like that still hit differently. By that point, I had emotionally disconnected from our house. It wasn't a home anymore, just a place I used to live. One day, Lauren even mentioned it felt empty. I told her I was decluttering. She accepted that explanation easily. As long as it didn't involve her stuff, she didn't care. I kept moving my remaining things to my new house. By then, I could pack everything left in under 20 minutes. I was almost done. I met with a divorce lawyer. Everything was ready, documents prepared, filed at any moment. Financially, I had already secured everything I could. Our $30,000 vacation fund was now in my personal account. I kept every receipt from my staged transactions organized, documented. I changed my retirement beneficiaries to our kids. I withdrew all accessible funds, opened new bank accounts and credit cards under my name only, set up insurance policies separately. The car? Fully transferred into Lauren's name. Her responsibility now. The house, unfortunately, wasn't fully under my control. That would have to go through court. I also got a new SIM card, registered only to me. My old number? Deactivated. Gone. Then I prepared something else. Dossiers. One for each husband or partner of the women on Mary's list. Each file included dates and locations of the affairs, Banta's name, address, and contact details. And something extra, the address of a medical clinic for STD testing. Because from what I had seen, protection wasn't exactly part of his routine. I also sent a detailed letter to the gym owner. Suggested she have a serious conversation with her head trainer. Then came the final step. On our kitchen table, I left everything. Divorce papers, printed photos from the surveillance footage, a DVD with recordings, and next to it, my wedding ring, cut in half, covered in something unpleasant. The note read, "Lauren, I'm leaving you this damaged ring, covered in filth, just like what happened to our marriage. Do not contact me. You can reach me only through the lawyer listed in the divorce papers. I have requested that you be restricted from entering school grounds. Do not attempt to contact me there. Any disturbance will result in police involvement." I also told our kids, sent them copies of the recordings. No confusion, no lies, no rewriting the story. Final update. I moved into my new house and waited. The fallout came fast and hard. Somehow, local news picked up the story about the gym scandal. The owner had no choice but to shut it down and leave town. As for Banta, he was later found in an alley downtown, beaten badly. Rumor was, some husbands had finally caught up with him. At the courthouse, divorce filings suddenly surged. Houses started going up for sale, one after another. Lauren came home that day, saw everything I left behind, and collapsed. A neighbor heard her scream. A 70-year-old woman who lived nearby. Didn't take her long to figure out what happened. She called an ambulance immediately. Before leaving the house, Lauren tried to call me, over and over, but my old number was dead. She even showed up at the school. That didn't go well. She was arrested. After spending a night in custody and receiving a strict warning from a judge, her attempts to reach me slowed down significantly. Our kids didn't hold back. They made it very clear what they thought about her betrayal. Luckily, both of them were already married. And clearly, they didn't take after her. The divorce was finalized. Financial matters resolved in a standard way. Lauren had to sell the house. With what she got, she bought a smaller place on the outskirts of town. Now she lives there, alone. People talk. They always do. And her reputation didn't recover. Every time she went out, she got looks, whispers, judgment. Eventually, the pressure broke her. Depression took over, and she ended up in psychiatric care. As for me, I kept teaching, kept my routine, and now I live quietly in my new house, peacefully. For the first time in a long time,